Hello, it's your guy, Next back again. Here it is, first video on the PC. I was expecting it to be Transport Fever 2, gotta be honest, but that's fine. We're just gonna hop right into it. We're gonna do a free game. I'm not the best at Transport Fever 2, I haven't played it too often, but I'm also, I kinda know what I'm doing. I'm gonna go for like a medium, 1-to-1, high towns, and medium industry. Really, that's a nice balance right there, and it gives us a nice larger map size to play around with. So, I'm an American. If you didn't know, I was born in the U.S., raised there and stuff. But I do like the Asian vehicles, but we're gonna go for the American vehicles specifically because that's where I'm from. We're also gonna play on easy because I'm not that good at the game, and we're gonna start at 1850. I should be able to make a profit at easy at the very least. Alright, so let me give you a little introduction if you don't know what Transport Fever 2 is, but before I do that, subscribe, like button, leave a comment down below, tell me what you want me to play next. Now that I have this PC, I plan on getting a bunch of different games, VR, general Steam games, leave a comment, and I'll try my best. Alright, moving on from there. So, Transport Fever 2 is a tycoon game, if you know what a tycoon game is. But yeah, a tycoon game is basically, you start off with nothing or very little, and you build up to this great, powerful position, think of it as Monopoly, kind of. Like, you start off in Monopoly with, some money, but you don't own any land or any buildings or anything like that, and then as you progress through the game, you'll stack up, you'll get hotels, and you'll be rich, and all these things. Think of it as like that, because I refuse to believe anyone watching this has not played Monopoly. So in Transport Fever 2 in particular, we're gonna first of all pause it. Okay, we're gonna pause it, and then we're also gonna close that. I don't need that. But basically, Transport Fever 2 is, I wouldn't say similar, but it kind of, okay, it keeps that little bit of a core premise, with our job being, creating supply lines. For example, Scottsdale over here want bread and gears. Now, gears are complex, and that's a lot of work. I wouldn't recommend starting off with that, but food would be pretty easy. You take the farm and direct a road or a line heading to this little food processing plant, and then have some trucks drop off the food here, then boom, you got money making right there. You could expand production later on and add that farm in. There's a couple of farms over here, and there's actually another place that wants food over here. So it makes it a little bit easier to kind of like set up this system in which individuals can get what they desire. Basically, we want to help raise these towns to their full potential. Of course, there are a lot of things that are going to be happening in the game. You'll have like boats, you'll have trucks, vehicles, planes, trains, a whole wide range of vehicles, and you'll get to see these little cities expand as we go on throughout the game. So if we take a little look-see through here, it's not very, bustling or crazy or anything, but as we progress through the game, that's going to change. We'll see people walking around, we'll see transportation lines between the cities, we'll start seeing the rise of more private transportation. It's going to be awesome, but we also get to see like little spots like this Denver chemical plant, which isn't connected to anything. But, okay, so to set up our first supply line, I think we might end up going back to that place we saw earlier. It was, a very nice New Orleans. Unfortunately, no. So I think we'll start off with Scottsville. Scottsville feels like the best spot. We have the farm, we have the food, and then the delivery point right there. So, to get started, what we're going to need first are streets. For these streets, you can either go small streets, or you could go crunchy roads. I usually go for country roads. I don't know why I keep hearing crunchy rolls, and I know that's not what I'm trying to say, but honestly I'm not sure if I'm saying it. Anyway, we're going to start off with these. They're just faster, like they allow you to go faster. In the start it doesn't really matter because we'll all be going like the same speed, but you know, why not? We're going to start off a line shooting off. And here, one thing to keep, you know, in your mind while playing is, you know, the cost of things. For example, from here it's 16, but if I were to go over here it's 17, over here it's only 12. Well, now it's 13. And so you kind of want to, okay. You kind of want to like keep that in mind and try and go for the more cost-effective path, because you'll see like things like terrain and stuff will factor into the cost, so you'll get kind of wavy roads and stuff kind of spawning from your attempt to save money. Like right there it'll be 12,000, but if I moved it a little further it'd be like, you know, 14,000 or something like that. Something small, but something you still want to try and avoid if you can. I thought it might be better that was a straight road, but apparently not. For example, right here, that'd be 30,000. That'd be 33, but I saw 28. Ooh. There we go. And that's kind of like how we'll work our way over here, where we'll be able to set up a depot so they can actually pick up the stuff. Ooh, okay, no. Ooh, CK3 is done. I was trying to play it earlier. That was the planned first video. Unfortunately, for some strange reason, it didn't actually work. I couldn't get into the game. Like, it would start loading, and then it would crash. But it wouldn't actually, it would just, like, stop. The music would continue playing, but it wouldn't load or anything, and if you actually clicked, then it would crash. But, that's fine. I'll try and troubleshoot that. Ooh, okay. I think I saw one left. There we go. That's expensive. So we're almost connected over here, which is great, because as soon as we have a connection to this farm, we'll be able to start this line over here. We'll have to build a few more buildings, but like, you know, nothing crazy. Alright, buildings. So first we'll need a truck station. Really, well, not really close, but close enough. So what are the... I could have sworn that those were the... Give me a second, I gotta check the controls. Because for some reason what I thought were the controls aren't the controls. How do I rotate building? Construction open. Okay, and scenes. Maybe. I'm gonna try a minute. Okay. Nope. Okay. Nope. The keyboard's connected. And it's working fine. I don't know what's going on here, and I'm not appreciating it. Yeah, because WSAD isn't doing anything either. This is what happens when you force someone who's left-handed. Oh. I think I saw movement. If only I could replicate it. What the heck? I saw more movement. And the price keeps changing. But I don't know how I did it. Oh, okay. That's definitely not what I wanted to do. I lowered it. I don't know why I'm struggling so bad on it. Is it because number lock is on? Why aren't those keys working? Okay, give me another few seconds. Because can't move forward and stuff is supposed to be WSAD. Is it the wrong W? What the heck? My W itself isn't working. What? Okay. What do you mean win plus A? I guess that'd be W. What? Okay. I think I've broken it, and I don't understand what happened. I don't know what's going on with the keyboard itself. Did I mess it up somehow? I mean, it's all broken there. Huh. Strange. Oh, okay. I think it is. Yep, there we go. I really don't know what happened there, but it's working now, and honestly, that's all that matters. So I could have sworn that. Oh, okay, those are the zoom in. Anyway, we're gonna plop her there, and that's gonna be our first truck stop. What that's going to do is going to have our little trucky oldies pick up stuff right there. Then in the town, we're going to have a truck unload stop where they want the bread. This will, give the people who want the bread. Oh, I forgot the vehicle depot, or depot. And then those who don't want the bread, obviously, won't get the bread. Now, I don't want to put this too close in town. That way it doesn't, inhibit construction or anything. And I don't want to put it, crazy far or anything. I'll put it there. Alright. Next, we set up a line. So line 1 will start. We'll head there. Head there. Oh, there we go. Finish off in Scottsdale at Lotus Street. And there we go. Our first little line is set up. Then we'll buy some vehicles. We're going to, of course, go for the American horse-drawn carriage because we don't want to carry people, we want to carry anything. And for our first line, I'm thinking a solid 20. There we go. And with these 20, we should be able to get this line up and running, and then going all good. Alright. Okay, I don't need the text. So now I can see our little dudes all leaving. They're out to head and pick up stuff, and so they'll slowly progress, and if we speed the game up a little bit, we'll actually, we can see them from here too. I don't know why they're going that route. Where are they going all that? Let me just fall out. Well, okay. This is not what I wanted to. Okay, they're going about 18 kilometers an hour. I don't know how fast that is, and I don't know if I can change that to miles. Give me another second. I know I'm doing a whole lot for no good reason, but I'm a little slow, and I'm a little bit of an American mile, I guess. That works. Pounds. Okay, I guess that works. Now, how fast? That's well. I gotta get used to this new keyboard. How fast is he going? 11 miles. Okay, it's a lot slower than I realized. It's really hard to tell how fast they are going when you don't understand the speed system. So that's a tip to all you gamers out there. Understand speed systems. That's my pro tip. Look at that cow. Look at that cow. I can't click on it. Anyway. Our first little truck is heading toward... Oh, nope. You aren't mine. But our first truck is still indeed heading towards the depot. When they get there, they'll pull in, grab some wheat, and then pop over here. We'll drop the wheat off, and this little food processor will turn it into bread or food, and then we'll pick it up here and head off to the city. Or we'll drop it off right at that food depot and that truck unload stop right here, and begin the process anew. And with that, the city should start to grow. Interestingly, well, not interesting, but, you know, we will start to grow when we increase and create extra stuff. You know, we'll supply the food, and it'll increase the total amount of residents they can have. You know, we can increase the machines, but obviously we haven't started with machines. Machines are a lot more complex, and that's the main reason I'm avoiding them right now. Because, you know, so for machines, any nearby supply lines? No, we have the planks for the machines, but we don't have the steel that I can see. And honestly, it could be right in front of me. My eyes really don't work. There it is. So we'd have to pick up coal from here, drop it off there. And do we have an iron? Yeah, we have iron over here. And we'd have to bring them both over here to the steel mill, where it will turn it into steel, and we have to bring it all the way over here. It makes it a lot more complex of a process, and that's the main reason we're kind of avoiding stuff like that. But then for smaller things like this one right here, that would be really simple. Well, it would be too complex, but I didn't realize, you know, they were all over there. So we, you know, pick up some oil, bring it to the refinery, drop the refinery over to the fuel refinery, and drop it off to McAllen. And then boom, progress. This one, we just need some good old, there isn't any nearby, I was going to say some good old stone, because I of course want to set up some of these, like right here, I can go to the quarry, drop it off there, and boom. So we're going to actually start on this one too, because it's important to try and, you know, get as many of these as you can going on early game. You know, you don't want to be slacking that hard. So, plop something right there. Come over here real quick. One day I'm going to be real good at this whole using a PC thing. Just you wait. You're going to be so impressed. But until that day, we're going to drop that there. We're going to put a road depot over here as well, simply so we don't have to send them nearly as far. Alright, and then we'll of course create a line, new line, where we'll start here, go there, and drop the stuff off at Denver. Oop, Denver. There we go. Then we'll go to this Denver road depot, buy another 20 horse-drawn carriages, simply because I just feel like that's a fair number, and we'll set them off for line 2. Now, I do think I should start naming my lines. What is this? Can I zoom out? I cannot. Okay, we'll just kind of Scottsdale food. There we go. So we got Scottsdale food. What's this? Denver construction. There we go. And with that, we have like a clear... Can I move you up, please? I want you to... Okay, I'm willing to accept that, I guess. But this way we can keep it clear so that once we get far enough, you know, we know what each line is actually for, even if they overlap each other. Because I have had that happen where I'm looking and I'm not sure what each line is actually doing. Alright, and here we can see our first truck going in for this How did you get in front? How did you make 9,000 bucks? It's probably from depositing and picking up the food. Well, depositing the farm stuff and whatever. We can see our first truck about to stop at Scottsdale and deliver the food, which is always nice. We can see our Denver line getting off. And I think it's about time we start looking towards a third one. Now, for this one, probably wouldn't be too hard. It's a little bit more complex because, we gotta go here, here, and then here. Well, and then here. But, other than it's... Ooh, I might have to build a bridge, and it's gonna be a little expensive. I don't want to see my money. I already know I'm struggling. Okay, hush. Anyway, we're gonna have to do a little bit of road building over here. Okay, which way is cheaper? So here we go. Okay, we're gonna build a little bridge over here. Of course it's expensive, but alas, there's not much I can really do. We kinda need this. There we go. Okay. Next, we'll get the depots and another stops in another depot. Ooh, can I lower this? How did I do that before? No one of these buttons does it. Oop. Didn't mean to do that. I'm gonna figure out which button it is though. That is unavoidable. Aha, I'm a genius. Okay, I figured it out, and with that I have updated the horrific. So B is for bulldoze, that makes sense. But I have figured out the mastery. Oops, I have lied to you. I have figured out the mastery of lowering the land to, cheap down on cost. Which is very important. Always important. And I'm very glad I now know how to do it. Please, there. I guess we'll do. Alright, and then who wants these? You guys do. There you go. Alright, then of course we need the depot. Alright, we got the depot going. Let's build the line. What is this? Where are we? Take tools. And boom. Let's add some stations. Of course, first we pick up the wood, go to the sawmill, get the tools, and drop them off. And of course, want to take, we'll of course go for another 20. Nice solid amount. Can't go wrong. It's just a tiny bit expensive. There we go. What's up? What? What's wrong? No. No. Oh, how could I do such a silly thing? I purchased the wrong types of vehicles. I'm very glad this is also paused. I'll have to switch them out. Thankfully, it's not. Can I sell these, please? Dang it. At least I got some of the money back, I guess. But I can't believe I didn't even think of changing it. Okay, it's a horse-drawn carriage. There we go. I did it right this time. And I didn't get a warning, so I did good. Alright. Now, looking at our money, we spend about half of it. So I think I'm going to calm down on the crazy spending for a little bit. and start looking, ahead, planning a little bit. That's really important. So you got like San Jose over here, and you can see they want machines, and I think that's what's that? Goods. Okay, that makes sense. How do you make goods again? As you can tell, I'm very good at this game. Okay, there we go. So to make goods, you need plastic, I think it is, and steel. And for plastic, you need oil, refined oil. So we have an oil refinery, oil refinery, plastic, good, well, half the goods. And then for here we have iron, we have coal, we have 2 coals here, steel mill, boom. And then we'd simply need to connect this up. We can do it at Stockington and San Jose. Get those 2 birds, 1 stone, and have 2 separate lines, Stockington goods and then San Jose goods. Get that extra fuel and stuff. Not fuel, money. You have Detroit over here, they just want some food. And it wouldn't be too difficult, you just have to go through the city to actually get the food. And then you have to come back, of course, and then you can also create a separate line for Aurora over here, which also just wants food. But yeah, honestly, so far I don't see anything particularly difficult ahead. It's only been like 3 years since the game started after all, so it makes sense that nothing crazy is happening yet. But I feel like we're making good progress. Anyway, we already have like plans for future lines and stuff. And you can kind of see the general layout of the area. We know where to go and how to get it. Eventually, when we get better vehicles, I think we can start on the McAllen fuel, or whatever that is. Fuel refinery. We can start on the fuel line for McAllen when we get like faster vehicles. We can also start, connecting these 3 up first as like kind of a little bit of a test. Because as you can kind of see, they're all kind of separated. Like Scottsdale and Hartford are connected by road, but then you have McAllen, which is close nearby, but is separated by road, and that's connected to Gainesville and Stockington, which is connected to Denver and New Orleans. And then over here from Denver, it leads up to El Monte. Then you have on the other side of the river, apart from El Monte, Concord. That's connected to Aurora. So those are both separated from Detroit, which is connected to San Jose. It's a bunch of individual little pockets, all kind of separate from each other. But I feel like we have a good thing going. We'll be able to make some decent progress. We have them over here picking up stuff from the stone quarry. And of course they'll drop it off here at the construction materials plant and drop it off at Denver. And we can also, do it for Hartford too if we get faster vehicles. Everything will come in due time. And that way we don't have these little horse-drawn carriages going for like 3 years just to get to one spot, only to turn around and go back and do it all over again. And they can only carry 4 at a time too, so it makes sense to wait till we get a little bit further. But we also have like 5 forest over here. So we can absolutely overload this with wood and then use that for whatever devious needs. Like we could set up one line particularly to bring all these forest wood to this sawmill, and then have a separate line bringing stuff from the sawmill over to the how do you make tools again? I keep forgetting everything I need to know. Everything I need to remember, I kind of just slip out the line. How do we, yeah, okay, so we just need a tool factory. With all these, we can take them to a tool factory. I don't there's one right there. So we get one line bringing all that wood there, and then another line bringing all of the wood to the tools, and then the tools to wherever they need to go. That way we can kind of focus less on all of them doing that one long trek and then breaking up instead. Which is always a good thing, just in case, something happens to the vehicles, we have to replace them or something. Though, honestly, maybe having them all do it together would make, having them do it all together would be better. That way we don't have to replace as many vehicles. It really depends on, general efficiency and performance versus cost effectiveness. Whichever one I prefer at the point of time. Yeah. Leave me your thoughts in the comments down below. That's the perfect time. Let's get a conversation going. It may be a little far in the future, but it's always good to plan ahead in a Tycoon game, You never know what's going to happen, so you don't always want to, wait until the last possible moment, That way I'm not making the video and I'm like, well, I don't know what to do. Should I do this or that, So leave a comment. Tell me what you think. We're only 5 years in, so I don't want to end the video, but I also don't want it to be too long. I also wanted to record another video or so, another video or two, so I think this might be a decent place to end it for now. I do hope to make a lot more progress in the next video. I hopefully have to spend less time, just kind of getting into this and stuff, which I think will be probably for the best. Because, don't get me wrong, I'm having fun, but, I know it's pretty slow-paced, but I do just happen to play games like when I'm recording them like this, like Beat Saber or something like that. I can kind of just jump into the song and go. I normally don't talk in those videos anyway, so I don't have to explain what it is. But for a game like this, I kind of, I want to explain it a little bit so I'm not leaving everyone behind. But I also know my channel isn't really big enough where I can expect people to sit down and watch a 30-minute video and, stay the entire time. So, if you somehow did actually make it to this point in the video, thank you very much. I very much appreciate your support. You are appreciated. Don't think otherwise. That's not a threat. I'm just trying to ask politely. But that's about it for today's video. We've made decent progress. We got a couple lines up. We're already making a profit. So soon we'll be able to pay off our debts, which I totally forgot to mention. We owe about $5 million in, as a loan. But here's our finances. First year, we lost a lot, of course, that makes sense. Expenditure. Now we're kind of increasing our income compared to expenditure. But this year it's a little bit further down. I think that's just because I, expanded a little bit. Of course, we'll have to think about things like our headquarters, where we're going to place it. We got to get rid of our liabilities, which is our debt. We got to increase our value, which is fluctuating, but for the most part going down. We'll have to make higher profits, there's a whole lot to do. So, if you really want to see, make sure to subscribe, hit that like button down below. Leave a comment down below telling me what you think I should do. And then drop by next time for the next video. Peace. Have a good one.